Well, very lovely to be here at Abhayagiri again, home from home, and to get a sense for the ongoing development of the place, all the new buildings becoming more used and settled into, and all the plants growing up, trees flowering and so forth. I was very impressed by the honeysuckle that Lumpur mentioned yesterday. I thought, I see what he means. Craning my neck up to the roof. It's very lovely to see things continuing to develop in such a wholesome and beneficial way. With the series of travels I've been doing, this is my 5th country in about 5 weeks, and so time zone to time zone, culture to culture, England to Thailand, to Malaysia, to Singapore, to Australia, to Melbourne in Australia, then Brisbane, Queensland, and then now here to California, and then particularly landing an hour before I took off. From Brisbane, the plane took off at 1:50 and arrived here at 12:50 on the same day. So these kind of movements between cultures, time zones, and different environments in Buddha Bodhiwana Monastery in Victoria, it was the coldest week we've had in 20 years, so it was all wrapped up in woolen jackets and woolly hats and extra insulation. That covering of distances and the variety of time zones and the changes of environment, these kind of things I find are very, very direct, very useful ways to reflect upon our own perspectives, where we are, which way is up. In Australia, that if you point upwards, it's we're pointing in a different direction, and if you're in California and pointing upwards, the stars are different in the sky above you. So which way is up? Is a question to reflect upon. What time is it? Well, where are we on the planet, and what is time anyway but largely a human construction? So these can seem to be sort of abstract considerations, but I find that it's because we measure things and judge things so much during the course of a day. So this is good, this is bad, this should be here, this shouldn't be here. That the way we judge each other, the way we judge ourselves, this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong, this is beautiful, this is ugly. That if you make a resolution to note the number of times the mind makes a judgment during the course of the day, I find it's quite shocking, startling. Several hundred times during the course of a day we find ourselves approving of something, disapproving of something, judging this as beautiful or ugly, right or wrong, delicious or disgusting, the right colour, the wrong colour. And we take those judgments very automatically, very immediately without reflection. We take our own perceptions to be true and reliable. But I feel it's very helpful to reflect on the teachings in this respect. There's a dialogue when Lumpur Prasanna and I included it in our book on Nibbana. A dialogue, it's one of the rare occasions where a layperson is giving a Dhamma talk to a monk. With a layperson called Citta, who's extremely wise and accomplished meditator, is giving a Dhamma explanation to the monk Godatta. And one of the things that he talks about, he says, passion is a maker of measurement, hatred is a maker of measurement, delusion is a maker of measurement. And that Pali word for that is pamanakara, that our passion is a maker of signs, hatred is a maker of signs, delusion is a maker of signs. So that when we measure things, or we designate something as beautiful, ugly, right or wrong, delicious or disgusting, that these teachings are pointing to the fact this is a subjective impression, that there are the ways that the world works, there are things that are wholesome and unwholesome, and ways to put the ways to hit a nail to make it go into the wood, and the ways that you hit it that it won't go into the wood. But this kind of consideration of our own judgments and the way the mind measures things, I feel it is very, very helpful. Lumpur Cha would often pick up something and say, is this big or small? And this, if you're an ant, it's quite big. If you're an elephant, it's quite small. Is an hour a long time or a short time? It depends what your perspective is. So these are not just sort of mind games or philosophical considerations, but really, if we apply those, then when the mind makes a judgment, this is a good person, this is a bad person, I should be this way, I shouldn't be this way, then there's space around that the mind can recognize, oh, this is a judgment that the mind is making, it's a designation that the mind is creating. We don't have to believe in this. This can't be anything absolute or complete. So when we look at the mind's judgments in those ways with respect to time and approval, disapproval, how things should or shouldn't be, then there's a much greater capacity for harmonizing with each other, a greater capacity for, say, ease and peacefulness in our lives. If we believe in all of our judgments and take every judgment that the mind makes as true and real, that this it should be this way, it shouldn't be this way, this is beautiful, this is ugly, this is right, this is wrong, this is heavy, this is light. If we take all our judgments to be true and totally reliable, what the result is generally is we live in a world of wrongness. Everything that we meet, or almost everything we meet, is not quite right. It shouldn't be this way, and that we're creating the causes of negativity, of affliction and conflict within ourselves. So I feel these simple teachings, when Luang Por would pick up a cup and say, is this big or small? Is this long or short? That it's a very simple contemplation, but if we take those kind of things to heart and recognize, oh, this is a thing that the mind is doing in relationship to these perceptions. Is this a long time? Is it a short time? Is it a heavy thing? Is it a light thing? Depends on your perspective. Aha! And then when we apply that, then we find our life is much, much more spacious. There's much more room in our lives. There's more space in the day, and we're far more able to work easily and harmoniously with a much greater variety of people in a greater variety of situations, traveling through different countries, different languages, different cultures, different everythings. We are far more able to be at ease when we take these principles to heart. So I do feel this is a principle worth recognizing, recollecting, that the mind that makes measurements, that designates things into being, if we truly awake to that, know that, are conscious of that, then we are creating the causes for great peacefulness, spaciousness, and non-conflict in our lives. Anyway.